Hello, welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to look at what is nature-based climate solutions. Now you might have heard this word called nature-based climate solutions. So we have already seen in the previous times that what is climate change mitigation and what is climate change adaptation. Now, nature-based climate solutions are a range of nature-based actions that will enhance and improve and help climate change mitigation as well as adaptation, and they also make much more contributions in terms of livelihood creation for the local communities, for indigenous people, and so on. So nature-based climate solutions are, of course, a very big part of the climate change adaptation and mitigation, or the in combating the impacts of climate change. So there are a range of things that are categorized as nature-based climate solutions. Now, first of all, let me look at the importance of nature-based climate solutions. So, Governmental Panel on Climate Change, or the IPCC, has spoken a lot about the importance of nature-based solutions in combating climate change. So this is from the sixth assessment report. So you see here some of the examples of nature-based solutions. So forest thinning, prescribed burning, cultural burning. So now the benefit of that are going to be increase carbon storage, protect the biodiversity, increase resilience to fire and drought. So one of the other element of nature-based solution is the preservation of the forest and restoration of the forest. This includes forests all around the world, and also in regions that are particularly most vulnerable to climate change. Now, the benefits of that are enhanced carbon storage that protect biodiversity, of course, reduced soil erosion, and also it contributes for much more enhanced livelihood securities if there are indigenous communities who are surviving in these forests. Now, one of the other component is an integrated watershed management as a nature-based climate solution. Now, this contributes to increase carbon storage, protect biodiversity, regulate seasonal stream flows, reduce water treatment costs, improve water quality and quantity, and it also reduce the soil erosion if we do integrated watershed management as a nature-based climate solution. Now, another nature-based climate solution is, of course, forestry, winter cover crops, revegetable stream buffers, wetland protection. Now, this component of the nature-based solutions help to maintain crop yields, reduce soil erosion, reduce crop heat stress, and enhance carbon storage, and also enhance the biodiversity. Now, another component of nature-based solution is protect critical habitats, kelp forest and coral reef ecosystem-based management. For example, of course, we have an idea about the kind of peculiar vulnerability to the coral systems in the world, not only Great Barrier Reef, but also the most coral regions in the world. Now, this kind of nature-based solutions contribute support fish and shellfish resources, promote ecosystem resilience, maintain and enhance carbon storage and biodiversity. Of course, coral reefs are so important for all life forms in the planet, and it also helps to reduce the vulnerabilities and challenges in terms of oxygen generation in that sense, and also a number of other benefits that we have from this particular nature-based solution. And another nature-based solution effort is to protect and restore barrier habitats, combined natural and build infrastructure. Now, this contribute for wave attenuation, erosion, and flood reduction from storm events exacerbated by SLRs. Now, uh, another nature-based solution is to create green cities and urban spaces, green infrastructure, and habitat restoration. Now, these kind of nature-based climate solution efforts actually contribute for protection from flooding, reduce heat island effects in the cities, and also related human health risks. For example, we increasingly see particularly parts of the world in the global south, where uh, increasing impacts of global warming and climate change increasingly impacting the human health risks in the cities as part of the uh, urban heat island. So these kind of risks can also be targeted to reduced by some of by this particular nature-based solution, and it maintains and enhances carbon storage and biodiversity, particularly in the cities, which in turn again help to reduce the heat in the cities and also contribute towards combating climate change. So we have these many, of course. This is not an exhaustive uh, list or a pictorial uh, representation of nature-based climate solutions, but also but you have a lot of them that if you look at the IPCC and other reports by several UN agencies, that you can see. Now, what is the importance of nature-based climate solution is to kind of look at that. I look at one of the recent research which came in the Nature actually this year in 2024. So this article is from the Nature Communications. It is Principles of Natural Climate Solutions. So this paper basically argue that the emphasis of the IPCC, or the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, that the rapid deployment of the natural based climate solutions, that of course IPCC had categorized as agriculture, forestry, and other land use mitigation measures, is essential to reach net zero emissions and avoid catastrophic warming. If deployed carefully and appropriately, it can deliver a third of the climate mitigation needed by 2030. Of course, 2030 had emerged as one of the deadline by a lot of countries in terms of their net zero targets. So that is the reason why 2030 is important here. Now, however, investments will require now massive investments from the kind of amount of investments that are going on now for the nature-based climate solution need to multifold if we have to get there, which is over 9 times the amount of the investments that are currently used. Now, that basically means that we have not really paid attention to nature-based climate solutions, which are central, which are core, and which are so important in the sense that if we have to enhance our actions sustainably on adaptation and mitigation. Now, nature-based climate solutions are, of course, are not so much of a profit-making industry, and that is also one of the reason why we don't hear a lot about the nature-based climate solutions being promoted by the industry or the business in that sense. But some of the adaptation as well as mitigation measures are being highly pushed by the industry that we often see. For example, if you talk about EV, which has been, I mean, the electric vehicles, which are of course are pushed by an industry that emerged recently. But in terms of nature-based climate solutions, there are no industries to push this. But this is one of the central, original, and least other impacts that it could create in that sense has not been central in terms of the investment and also in terms of expansion of nature-based climate solutions. So that is the reason why nature-based climate solutions are so important in combating the impacts of anthropogenic climate change. This is from the World Resources Institute, basically, which shows that how on coast, in cities, and in farmlands, rivers and wetlands, mountains, forests, and watersheds, how different kinds of nature-based solutions can work together to build climate resilience. So you can see here different kinds of hazards being listed and how potentially nature-based climate solutions can work together. So for loss of life and assets due to intense wildfire, one of the nature-based solution is that the forest management to reduce risk of superfires. Now, in terms of the land slides, soil loss, and siltation due to intense rainfall, one of the solution is to protect and restore forests to stabilize soils and slow water runoff. Now, this can predominantly be done in the mountains, forests, and watersheds. Now, in rivers and wetlands, one of the most important hazards that are found are asset loss, loss of yield, and reduction of the yield, and the contamination due to flooding. So, restoration of the wetlands to absorb and filter flood water is one of the nature-based solution in that regard. And in another nature-based solution where uh, protecting and restoring the forest and watersheds to regulate flow impact to reduce or intermittent river flow due to droughts. Now, in farmlands, basically for a hazard like crop failure and livestock loss due to droughts, one solution is uh, uh, to implement agroforestry to make better use of soil moisture and reduce evaporation. Now, in same farmlands, it can also be done to protect and restore forests to slow water runoff that can prevent asset loss, yield reduction, transport disruption due to flooding. Now, in cities, one of the hazard is urban flooding due to intense rainfall. Now, a solution to that is to restore water courses, expand green spaces, and reduce uh, porous surfaces to reduce flood risks. Now, in the cities, again, another hazard is heat stress due to urban heat island. Now, the solution for that is to expand green spaces in and around cities. Now, in the coastal regions, major hazard, of course, is loss of land, livelihoods, assets due to rising sea levels and coastal erosion. Now, a major intervention in that is to restore coastal wetlands, including using enhanced engineered measures, and also intervention such as protect, restore mangroves, marshes, and reefs to buffer, course, and absorb flood waters. This is to prevent the loss of life and assets due to storm surges and inundation. So you see how various nature-based climate solutions can work together, and all of them can in turn also produce much more ecosystem-based benefits for people, for communities, and for non-human who survive in these lands such as mountains, forests, river, farmlands, and coasts, etc.